Hi, I'm Mia Friedman, and this is No Filter. Conversations that go there. Don't underestimate Celeste Barber. Just because you've seen her recreating celebrity photos on Instagram, just because she gets like a million likes, actually a million likes on every photo she posts, don't think that's all she's about. Celeste Barber is an actress, a comedian, and a writer. She's also not rolling in cash, despite the fact that she's one of the world's most famous Instagrammers and has everyone from the Kardashians to Tom Ford reposting her images, and she also counts supermodels like Rosie Huntington-Whiteley among her subjects and her 3.2 million fans. She even has lunch with supermodels sometimes. So what's Celeste all about? How does she make those photos? Do they take ages? Are they really her real undies? And what's she like IRL? That means in real life, if you're an old person like me. Here's Celeste Barber. Hello.
Hi. Hi.
My name's Mia Friedman and I'm a mummy blogger, and I'm here with Celeste Barber, who is an overnight sensation on the internet.
Overnight sensation?
Well, mummy blogger, that's what I'm saying. So
yeah.
When people want to dismiss me, they call me a mummy blogger.
Yeah, I was going to say, wow, that's
that's why I would never... That was my attempt at a joke.
No,
it fell
it
really
was
flat.
good. No, I liked it.
So I was trying to be funny for you, Celeste, and I was trying to be funny. I was like...
No, do you know what it was? It was smart, and I don't think I do smart, so that's why. You were too smart for me, Mia.
And I saw your hackles come up.
Yeah, did you?
I did.
Yeah.
Which is how I feel. You know, it's like, hey, guys, I own a media company and I'm a journalist and I make podcasts.
And they go, that's just college speak for mummy blogger.
Yeah, you've got an internet connection and lady parts, therefore you are a mummy blogger.
Exactly.
And people do the same to you, right? In terms of just going, oh, you're that funny lady from the internet.
Yeah, exactly. And I have a real thing with it. Like now when I get introduced, like if I'm doing shows and stuff, there's kind of a thing that gets sent out now that says actor, writer, comedian, writer, actor, whatever, because most people want to go, mum from the Central Coast who takes funny photos.
Yes.
And I'm like, well, yes, those two things are correct, but no, it's not right, because it's tricky, kind of. I have a real fear that people think I'm just, a dental hygienist who lives on the Central Coast and takes funny photos at night. I'm like, no, this is my job.
Yeah.
Shout out to dental hygienists. They're amazing.
Yeah.
But this is my job. It's kind of what I've trained to do. So, yeah.
It's a real thing that doesn't happen to men.
It's that thing where people want to grab you. They want to go, she's like us. What she does is like us. She's just a mum like you as well.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I get that, but it's okay to separate that and be like, oh, that's really cool what she does. That's kind of new and a bit different, as opposed to going, she's just a mum, guys, don't worry.
Yeah.
She's like us.
Leanne Moriarty says that as well.
Yeah.
She says she's often referred to as a stay-at-home mum who started writing. And she's like, you know what? My partner stays at home. He's the primary carer. I'm one of the most successful authors in the world.
Yeah, let's try that on for size.
Yeah. You wouldn't say that to Matthew Riley or someone else.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, I feel you, sister.
Thanks, mate.
That was my very awkward attempt to,
it's all right.
be funny and connect.
I'll give you some notes. It's okay. It's okay.
Okay, thanks. Clearly, comedian is not in my descriptor when I do public speaking.
No.
It is hard work what you do. It really is.
You've got to keep up with 15-year-olds who are big online now.
Who's your audience, do you reckon?
Ladies between 18 and 65. So all the ladies. It's great. I have a real vast group of people and it's great.
You started your life before there was an internet. Because you're 35, right?
I am 35.
I always love talking to the ladies over 30 because you can say back in the olden days before the internet.
When it was dial-up.
Yeah, exactly. Or before it was anything. When it was a bookstore if you wanted to get information or a magazine.
Or a crossword.
So did you know what you wanted to be when you grew up?
Yeah, funny. I liked being funny. And I'm actually writing about that right now in my book. And I sat really well in that world. But then kind of I realised that maybe girls weren't kind of funny. That's when Friends and everything was on. And I was like, oh, yeah, look at those three funny ladies. But then I kind of remember going, but I don't look like any of them. Oh, okay, maybe I can't really do that. And then realising, no, that I can after drama school and going into All Saints and all that sort of stuff.
But how did you realise? Because there's that expression, you can't be what you can't see. So what taught you that you could do that without looking like that?
The people around me, because I just kept making people laugh.
Yeah.
People kept finding what I did really funny and I enjoyed it. And I sat really comfortably and it was easy for me. I never really found it a stretch. And then when I did like acting classes, I'd always be given the comedy roles and loved it. So I kind of just went with it. And then I remember seeing Jim Carrey in Ace Ventura and him being really big and me thinking, that's me. I do big.
That physical comedy.
Yeah. I do big and it's totally working. And oh my God, maybe I can do this.
When did you see a woman that you thought, oh, I see her. That's me.
I remember seeing Karen, Will and Grace, Megan Mullally, and going, what is that? That is brilliant. Yeah. It's a lot of the time like Bette Midler, the kind of musical theatre older actresses who I go, yeah, there's the drama. That's funny. Like that's slapstick old school. There's a Lucille Ball, but I wasn't.
That's before our time.
You have to, I know, even before our time. You have to search her out. But I remember, Will and Grace seeing Karen, the character of Karen, going, brilliant. I get that.
That sense that you didn't have to be decorative to have value as a comedian.
And if there's truth in it, you can be as big as you want. You don't have to just be. Because like on Friends, my favourite show in the whole wide world, Rachel, Monica, Phoebe, they were always described how they looked before what they could do, or not funny ladies who are gorgeous. It were these three gorgeous ladies and they're kind of funny. And I'm never sat in that, and that's fine. I don't want to sit in that. I kind of go the other way, like Julie Louis-Dreyfus in Elaine. Are you kidding? I wasn't a big Seinfeld watcher, but I loved her on that because she was like big and great.
Yeah, when you say big, it's funny. You don't actually mean in size. You're talking about in performance,
exactly.
right?
And women aren't really allowed to kind of do that. They're allowed to be funny next to the guys, but not really kind of huge character choices. And so when I saw those go, even Grace on Will and Grace, she was good, but Karen was better for me. I was like, big character choices and big voices and absurd stuff is so great, and they have given it away, paved a way for people like me, being big.
Why is Friends your favourite TV show of all time?
It was on 7:30 on a Monday night. I used to watch it, record it. And that was back in the day when things actually started at 7:30 when they said they would. So I'd have, recorded by 7:25, ready to go. I could just always recite word for word what they were saying. I think it was the banter that I loved. So I'd watch it Tuesday morning before I went to school and then go to school and just recite it to everyone. I think this, because the scripting was so easy and so funny and light, I found it really easy to kind of perform. So I think that's probably why I loved it so much. I was obsessed with it.
So you studied it from a performance point of view, and I'd never realised that you trained as an actor. Of course, it makes perfect sense now that I think about it. And then you got a gig on All Saints.
Yeah. So I trained at Theatre Nepean, which is no longer because government funding is non-existent in the arts. And then I was out for a bit, just kind of doing shows here, random shows here and there. And then I got cast on All Saints, but I only got cast as a guest role as an ambulance officer, and then managed to stay on for 5 years.
How did you do that?
I'm a hustler from way back. I know how to
How do you turn a guest role into a ongoing part?
Well, it was a guest role for an ambulance officer, so it's not as though I came in for 1 week as a patient and died. I think that
would be hard to linger. I mean, for 5 years after that.
I could try. I could have a go. So I think there was an opening, obviously, there for that, and it just kind of, they would get me back in when they needed random ambulance officer stuff, and then I don't know if it did have anything to do with it, but I like to think I was super close with the cast, got along well with all the people that needed to, all that sort of stuff. And then they just kind of kept me on. Then I became a nurse, and then I got contracted. I got a 3-year contract. I was like, yeah.
Happy day.
And then 6 weeks later, the show got cancelled.
Oh, no.
And I bought my apartment. And I went, oh, mate, that's not good.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I know.
What happened?
I managed to get a really bad Brazilian chick to rent it off me and kept it, and then got the Matty John show. So that money kept it going. But I freaked out. But I was so stoked I did it, though. Got that contract and went straight to the bank and went, see, actors can have real jobs. And then got the
And you
place.
were given a loan based on, hey, I've got a 3-year contract, therefore I've got...
Yeah, banks look at actors and go, great, you did that ad. How often's that ad coming up? And you're like, never. But...
Wow.
It's still a big paying ad,
Yeah.
but it doesn't matter. There's no security.
Because it's like being a freelancer.
Yeah.
It's lumpy, your income.
Very lumpy, feast or famine, 100%.
So the business of being on a, what do you call it, serialized show
Yeah,
of drama, like a
Yeah.
weekly
Yeah,
show.
yeah.
What's the work side of that like? Because people see it, you know, I hear that television is incredibly great training for actors,
Yeah.
whether it's Home and Away or All Saints or whatever it is, because you got to learn a lot of script.
Yep.
You're doing long hours.
Yep.
What's the work side of it like?
There's a lot to do because you'll shoot one block, so one episode, 1 week. But then, like on a Wednesday, for example, we would go in and do a read for the following week's episode.
Like a table read?
Yeah. So everyone would be there, script editors, everyone, directors, producers, just to, you know, get the script together. Then we'd get amendments of those scripts to learn for the following week. And there's a lot of work to do, but I think on a medical drama there's extra work to do because you've got jargon. You've got medical jargon and you can't ad-lib. Trust me, I tried. Like I try and ad-lib like blood pressures and they'd be like, cut, that means they're dead. Learn your lines. Go back and do it again. I'm like, oh, sorry. As you know, running down a hallway with a bed, trying not to run into John Howard and trying not to smack into cameras and then trying to just numbers. I found that hard. And then when I would actually shoot it, my whole brain would switch off and it would just come out my mouth. And they'd go, got it. I'd go, did you? I don't know. I don't know what I just said. And I'd be screwed when they'd go, all right, you know that scene we shot on Monday? We've got to do a pickup of that on Friday. I'm like, well, cut me out of it because I've totally forgot the script. The second I shoot a scene, it's out of my head. It's terrible. It's a bad thing.
Well, it's got to make room for the next thing that you've got to remember.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, maybe that's because I've got a tiny head, tiny brain. I need space to keep it in there, but it just goes.
Yeah, but I wish that you could just choose what you kept and what you didn't keep. Like, I know the name of Heidi Klum's first husband, but I don't know my daughter's mobile phone number.
Oh, really? What's her husband's first husband's
It was Rick Pepino.
Oh, well, that's why, because it's a stupid name.
Yeah, and they had
nearly Rick Penis.
They
but
had
it's
a
not.
dog. He's Australian, and they had a dog called Sheila. And it was an Alsatian. How do I know this? And I can't tell you
Your daughter's
my daughter's mobile number or my son's mobile number.
That's funny.
It's messed up.
It's okay. It's okay.
So you became very close to Mark Priestley on the show, who was a phenomenal actor in All Saints and who sadly, devastatingly took his own life in 2008.
It's 10 years this year.
10 years ago.
Oh.
I can't imagine how horrible that was for you
worst.
and for everyone who loved him and worked with him. He was the first one that really encouraged you to do comedy, is that right?
Yeah.
In terms of
Yeah.
saying, do something with this. You guys were close.
Really tight. Like, hey, got a tattoo on my arm for him tight. I loved him so much. So I always loved being funny, as I said before, but then I kind of, going through drama school, I thought, there isn't much kind of, I think it's just silly. Maybe it's just stupid.
Is comedy like the poor relation at drama school?
Well, for me it was because I think because I didn't find it hard. I was like, well, I can just do this. I find I can just do this. And maybe I need to if I
work
want to
harder.
play Lady Macbeth or can I say that in here? I'd have to run around the building because of superstition.
No, we're not a theatre.
Oh, okay. I just got nervous though.
We're not a theatre. There are ghosts in this building. You're not meant to say Lady Macbeth.
No,
are
you're not
you,
meant
in
to say
theatre?
Macbeth. And
Oh,
I think
really?
in any sort of creative space. Is that right? Oh my gosh.
Don't look at us.
Well, should we be running now? Oh, we'll do it
No.
later. Okay, good. Or you've got to say other words, other Shakespeare texts. It doesn't
Romeo
matter.
and Juliet,
Done.
wherefore art thou? Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo?
Done. We are cleansed. So, yeah, I thought maybe I should be being more serious. And again, I didn't see a heap of funny lead ladies on TV and I wanted to be a funny lead lady on TV. So I didn't completely get rid of it, but I was like, it's not as hard as learning a soliloquy or something. So it doesn't really matter. And then I got All Saints and I want to say that's where I met Mark. I think I'd met him before, but this is the thing I have with him. I can't ever really remember a time in my life without him. So I don't remember the very first time we met.
What was it about you guys that connected?
Oh, he was just an idiot and I was too. And we both kind of just like were really, really full on about the same kind of things, about comedy and being loud and doing our own stuff, and we just kind of ran at each other with that.
Was there any of a romance, or it wasn't
God,
like
no,
that?
No, sibling stuff, like best soul brother stuff. God, no romance. That makes me actually go, ugh.
Ugh.
Yeah, and he would do the same. He probably is. But yeah, we would just kind of click, and he used to always give me shit on set because he knew it would rile me up. He'd go, well, you know, at the end of the day, women aren't funny. And he knew that, and I'd be like, what? And when
You'd take the bait every time.
Just run around set like screaming at each other. And he never cared if he got in trouble, and I always cared if I got in trouble. So he'd always try and get me in trouble. Just that really immature shit that I think as adults we all crave.
Yeah.
And then he wasn't well, but he used to come around to my place in Balmain a lot, and we'd just write scripts and film them. At like 3 a.m, knock on the door, come in with the camera, let's do some stuff. It's like, let's go. Like, it was just the best. And I remember this one particular time on set, so in between setups, like scenes, he was like, oh, well, we'll work on this again. I was like, yeah, cool. And I said and we were just thinking about different lines and different script, and I was like, don't worry, I won't say that part, don't worry about it. And he just looked at me and went, can you stop that? And I went, what? And he goes, just stop that. It's boring. You not getting it. You not getting what you do is great, is boring. So stop. And I went, you stop, idiot. And he was like, seriously, you understand it better than you know. You understand comedy better than you know. So you have to. He was just annoyed.
So he gave you permission.
Yeah. And he was just the one that went, it's not cute. This you going, I don't really. He's like, no one cares. So just do it. And so from then on, I have honestly, since that moment, just done it.
Owned it.
Yeah, and really loved it. And I talked to Kate Mulvaney a lot, who they were
His
together, forever. And she's like, Mark would be proud. And she just like, I'm writing a chapter about him in my book, and I messaged her and I was like, I'm writing about Mark. It's yay and boo and shit and great. And she just sent me a heap of inappropriate photos of him, like, which was just such a massive help. But that was such a massive moment for me to go, yeah, it's boring. It's boring to ask people to validate if I'm funny or if what I'm doing is okay. He's like, you know it is, so don't worry about anyone else. Keep going, go. And now I do, and it's in the time where I then discovered Tina Fey and Amy Poehler, and they're exactly that, doing exactly that. And I'm like, there's my crew.
You're like,
There's my crew. Yeah, and it was nice. It's all thanks to stupid Mark.
How do you recover from losing someone that you're that close to when you're a friend? Because you weren't, a lot is spoken about after suicide about romantic partners and parents. But he was your person.
He was my person in that comedy world as well, and seeing him get sick
and not being able to help.
No, it was really hard. But you know, he had to. There's no way he could have stayed around. He was in too much pain to go, so that's okay. And that show, All Saints, we were family. We still are now. Like when Jude died a few months ago, we all just fell apart. And then my best friend in the whole wide world, Jo Cash, who was my makeup artist on the show and we lived together, she passed away a few years ago. Yeah, so we're kind of like, I know, it's kind of the world. So whenever we talk about Mark, it's just a big family type thing. And I don't know if I ever recover. Like I have a thing with my kids where I talk about them. I talk about Mark and Joe and my other friend Nick and Paul so much because I have this real fear that if you don't talk about them, they never existed. And I know we're lucky enough to have footage and stuff of Mark, but I'm like, no, you need to. It's very important to me, and that might be selfish because there are people who go, I don't want to talk about it, and that's fine. But I'm not one of those people. So Mulvaney and I will get together and just have Mark-offs. We'll just talk about him because we don't want him to. It's 10 years.
Yeah.
My kids never met him. My stepdaughters, I don't think, ever met him, and that I find that the hardest to deal with because I'm like, he was everything, and he can't not have ever been here. It freaks me out, that
and
idea.
It also must freak you out to have people that you're so close to who didn't know him. That's why you've got to try to make that bridge between your two worlds.
Exactly, and especially with Jo, who died. She was my bridesmaid. She died 3 years ago, and I'm like, what the fuck? I can't, like, people I'm meeting now, and even this world I'm in, I find it really frustrating that she's not there and I can't tell her because I'm like, you
What's
would be
happened?
so into this.
Yeah, like look at me, look what I've become.
I'm like, I've got so much to tell you and it's very annoying that you're not here.
How did you meet your husband?
At a pub in Balmain.
Were you sober?
Yeah, I was working.
Oh, you were working in the pub?
He was not. He was at the end of a bender. He would like to say, oh, we just had a big night out. That's bullshit. He was at the end of like a 4-day bender with his mates and his cousin.
And did things get intense quickly or it was a slow burn?
No, I'm not you've met me. I'm not a slow burn.
Me neither.
Boots and all, mate. It's all or nothing. No, he was living on the mid-north coast with his daughters and so he would come down like week on, week off.
How old were you at the time?
21.
Oh my God, you were a baby.
Baby, yeah.
Wow.
And I remember that was around the time that Halle Berry had that really short hair when she was doing the Bond film. And I was like, I can fully pull that off. Turns out I can't.
I thought that too.
And I did, and I shouldn't have. And do you know what he said? He was like, I saw you, and I thought he says very nice things, and he's like, and I thought if a girl thinks she can pull hair off like that, she must be confident. It's like, shut up, mate. Because he had a bob of dreads. It was straight and looked like an absolute dream.
What was the first shot that you took that became the Instagram phenomenon, which is part of what you do, but probably what you're best known for?
Yeah, absolutely. The one that made it go gangbusters was the Kim Kardashian on a dirt pile in her underwear. It
started with text between you and your sister though, right?
Yeah, my sister is a very, very funny lady. I can't stop laughing thinking about it. She's really funny. And she will just send random stuff to me going, you know, seeing someone do a crazy yoga pose, and she'll be like, off you go. And I'm like, all right, challenge accepted, just joking around.
So it was a banter between the two of you?
Always. And then I thought, actually, this is the thought of me doing something like this. Would imagine getting in your underwear, your flesh-coloured underwear, at the local bike track, lying on a dirt hill and getting your mate to take a photo of you. That's weird. And then I'm like, oh, I'll have a go at it. And it is. It's weird. It turns out that it's actually really weird.
But you started just to make your sister laugh.
I did it. And then I knew my mates would find it quite funny as well. And then it just kind of went from there.
So you just started an Instagram account?
Yeah. Well, I did it on my my normal Celeste Barber Instagram account. And then it started to take off. So ABC Online did a thing on it. And then, of course, Daily Mail.
Of course.
Yeah. Go, oh, we thought of that too. And then from there it went crazy. And then I thought, because I got photos of my kids and stuff on there, I was like, what I'm going to do, I'm going to jump over and I'm going to start a channel accepted account or whatever. Went over, did it, but it was blocked. Someone reported it and had it shut down. So I've had
reported it for what?
Because I did a parody of a particular Australian fashionista and she was not happy. And so she reports, blocks, took it down. So I can't access that account at all now. So that's why it stayed on the Celeste Barber account.
Which is now your public account.
Which is now the account, and I have other private ones, yeah.
A lot of work goes into those shots.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing. I look at the shots and I always think they're brilliant and funny and clever and creative, but I also see the work.
Yeah.
It's like the swan gliding over the surface and no one sees the paddling underneath. Yeah. I see the paddling.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm like, I deconstruct them a little bit and I'm like, okay, so and I'm fascinated to know how you do it. Do you have a file of a whole lot of photos that you then go on trips and work out the locations, and how do you do it?
Yeah, I've gotten to that point. I have in my phone a folder of photos I want to do. But that folder just gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
People send to you right now?
Heaps, so many. But I just get more and more and more. So I don't do most of them. And if something comes up that's very of the now, I have to try and jump onto it. So like Beyonce holding her babies. That
pregnancy
sort of
announcement. Or the pregnancy announcement, yeah.
I need to do that. I don't need to, but I'd like to do it straight away.
So those iconic images in pop culture,
yeah,
you have to jump on those.
Well, I do, but I only jump on them if I think I can make them funny. That's what parody is, if I can add something to it. So a lot of people were like, why didn't you do that Kim Kardashian one when she's flicking the cork and she catches the thing on her ass? It's like, because it's dumb. There's nothing I can do with that.
Yeah. It's almost too much.
Yeah, and everyone's already doing it.
Yeah.
And it's fine. But when I saw that Beyonce one, for example, with her babies, I was like, hold close, what's important? Bread and wine. Like, and I made it kind of funny.
So how do you deconstruct? Because, you know, you didn't think, oh, well, I'll get 2 of my children.
No.
And it'll be funny because they're not babies. Like, how did you – I'm so interested in what you just said then. Hold close what's important.
Well, because I think that's funny. I think I'm not sure if I doubt she wrote that caption. But I think I looked at that one, for example, and went, exactly that. Hold close what's important to you, or think about what's going through their head. And I was like, well, I know what's important to me. And I just didn't have cheese at the time. I wanted to have chicken because I'd just eaten it. But to do that in the photo, I think subtext is really funny.
Yes.
What I think is going through someone's mind, I think is like, you know how people see dogs and pretend to be dogs' voices? That shit cracks me up no end.
Yeah,
even
same.
if they do it badly. I think that stuff is so funny. So a lot of my comments are kind of my subtext. What I think.
So it's what the celebrity is thinking.
Yeah, exactly. And then sometimes it's completely not. Sometimes it will be, I'm going to go to the beach and try and feed some seagulls. End of story. Because some model did it holding it and an eagle came through. And I said, that will be funny. I'm going to get a sometimes there's nothing to it other than just the comedy and what you see. No kind of stuff that goes on behind it. Do you know what I mean? Like just one person.
Who takes the photos?
Most of the time, Arpy, my husband.
Your husband.
That's his name, by the way, everyone.
Hot husband.
Arpy, yeah.
API.
API.
Where does that come from?
He's Maori. So it's Arpy Hana.
What a beautiful name.
Yeah, he's pretty great.
So he takes the photos?
Most of them. Sometimes I have a friend, Chloe, that does it. She takes them, or it's sometimes whoever's around. Or if he's
do you
in them.
write the kids into it, or they're just not interested in mum's work?
No, my 6-year-old's very interested in mum's work, which is very sweet. My 3-year-old, he's like,
No.
Focus, mum, on me. What are you doing?
Of course.
I'm like, entertaining millions, mate. Give me a second.
And the daughters are like, we're too cool for this.
Yeah, we're too cool for
teenage
this.
girls
But
always
when their
are.
friends come over, they're like, oh my God.
She's
I'm
your
like,
mum.
I'm like, that's right, girls. That's right, it's me.
Bit of respect, please.
Yeah, some of their friends, when they go out to the pub, will wear my merch. And I was like, yes, girls. My stepdaughters certainly
They would
don't.
never wear your merch.
No, because I've ruined their life or something. But that's okay.
How many shots do you reject? How many do you try and you look at the result and you go, it's just not funny enough?
A few, but I'm trying to think of one I just did recently where I went, first one up, gone. I got my friend Thomas, who's another one who takes the photos for me, click, and it was perfect, and I go with it. If it's not funny straight up and the caption isn't going to make it funnier, I have to go again. Like I have to.
Can you think of any time when that's happened, when it just hasn't been what you were thinking?
Yes, the one where I did of Lara Stone, how she's holding 2 wine glasses in front of her breasts. I did it with 2 wine glasses. I did it like a white wine and then like a beer glass. And I was like, it's not funny. It doesn't make sense. It's not funny at all. And then I just kind of left it sit for a while and didn't really worry too much about it. And then I went, oh, you know what's funny? Orange juice and shake and bake or whatever it is, the pancakes. And then that just made, because I looked like I'd just woken up and it looks like, and it just got there. You know what I mean?
So sometimes you have to go again.
Yeah, because you got to add something. I've got to add something to it. I'm not mimicking or mocking. I'm parodying. I'm adding some sort of humour to it. So if it's not quite there, I won't post it. And if I do post it and I'm not happy with it, most of the time it doesn't go as well as a previous one.
You do a lot of physicality with your body and poking fun at people with your own body. And I've had this experience too, because I like to put shots of myself out there that are unflattering because I believe, firstly, they're funnier and secondly, they're more real.
Yeah.
And the Instagram does not need another 6-pack on it and another perfectly filtered image. But tell me about being called brave.
Great. Nice thing to be called. But I'm not a firefighter. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm a soldier in the war and I'm brave and I'm going out to fight. I'm just taking my clothes off. It's okay. And it's weird because Kendall Jenner does it and she's empowering. I do it and I'm brave. And again, they're not bad words. I'm not being called a pig or whatever, but it's
but the subtext of it is that you should really be ashamed.
Yeah. And good on you.
Yeah.
Good on you for doing that. I'm like, oh, thanks. I don't really care. Like that to me isn't brave at all. Like I was saying, a firefighter is brave. Or the first poo you do after having a baby, that's shit's
so brave.
Because I honestly believe that how we look makes up a very small percentage of who we are. And I've always thought that. That's not to say I haven't had moments of going, I should be thinner, or I wish that wasn't there, or I'm only going to eat that for a year, and it never happens. I'm bored.
You don't index your value.
No.
To that kind of thing.
And I don't do stuff to... I mean, I've been caught up now in this body positive movement, and it's a bloody great movement to be a part of, and it's great, but I never started it to do that, and I never compared how I looked to them. I just kind of compared what I was doing to what they were doing. And I would hope that in like my Instagram stuff, people look at that and they instantly go, funny. And then they start to deconstruct and they go, well, she's fat and she's not, or what. But I'm hoping, and I think it's happening, that the first thing that people do is go and laugh.
Yeah.
And then maybe go, as opposed to going, oh, I don't look like that, or and look at that. They get the humour in it, and that's what I'm hoping people get from it.
Because it can be a little bit of a prison, that idea that you are out there fighting for a realistic body image. Yeah. That's not your motivation.
No.
Your motivation is to make people laugh.
Make people laugh. And I'm also, you know, it's not lost to me that I am in my underwear and I am a size 14 and I am standing next to someone who isn't, who has got a very, very lucrative career because they look like that. I understand. I'm not an idiot. I understand that there are those comparisons there. But I don't care. I must admit I don't care. And then there's the other side of the coin where people will come at me in my comments, you look much better than that skinny bitch, or screw, and I'm like, no, I don't want to get into that. But I don't.
Because you're not fishing.
No, I'm not entering that. I might have started the conversation, but I'm certainly not going to enter into it anymore or end it. Then people start getting into it, and then people will then write, Celeste, you should be saying stuff. You should stop the body shamers of the skinny girl. Everyone can look how they want. And they're right. Everyone can look how they want. But I don't care. There's a multi-billion-dollar business behind girls, supporting girls to look like that. There's not a multi-billion-dollar business behind supporting people who don't really care about how they look. They just get on with their life. So I'm not too worried about kind of running to their defense. I'm like, this is what I do. This is what you do. Take it how you want it.
How do you make money from what you do? Because it's work.
It is work, and
you're a lady startup.
Yeah.
You work for yourself.
Yeah.
You're self-employed.
And I don't make nearly as much money as I think people think I do. Like, I don't go and post 50 grand, done. Because I'm not holding detox tea, and I'm not going flat out. I don't understand why a wine company hasn't hit me up, just quietly.
Yes.
Because I'm all about the wine. But
or cheese.
Or bread.
Or Tip Top.
Or what else is there? Bread. What else do I drink? Coffee. No, wine. Let's just go wine. Vodka? No. Wow, I'm just talking about
wine
all my
better.
vices now.
Yeah.
I have posted about 800 or so photos. I've been paid for 5 of them.
But that's your choice, or
Massively.
because that's the only opportunities? I imagine people are knocking on your door every day with opportunities to monetize what you do.
Absolutely, but the majority of the people that are knocking on that door aren't at all in keeping with my brand. They're detox tea, meal replacement, diet pills are the main people.
Really?
Not so much anymore, because I have this thing that I write back, and I talk about this in my show actually, that says, I do not support any product that makes women feel they need to look a certain way to feel a certain way. All the best, bugger off. Like, I'm not interested.
So that rules a few people out.
Yeah, and then I have people, you know, those bra things that people
stick on.
The stick-on things that they tie up.
Yeah.
What am I going to do with that? Like, that's kind of not my world.
Yeah.
But the people who I have collaborated with, it's been a lot of chatting, and I have a lot of creative control over it, because it has to. I've worked really hard to get known on this platform, a platform where people that like me don't really get known. So I need to keep that. And the second I post, yay, detox tea, 3.2 million, goes down to 100 and I'm done.
How would you explain your brand?
Oh, see, it's hard.
I know, because you go, oh, I'm not a brand, I'm just a person. But, you know.
No, I get it. Because when I even talk about it, I talk about it like, no, that's kind of, it's my thing.
Okay, how do you describe your thing?
My thing is funny and honest. I also don't love using the word real, because just because something is filtered doesn't mean it's not kind of really real. I don't know. I'm not good at
authentic.
This
That's
stuff.
kind of an overused word, but
yeah, just trying to live my authentic life, my authentic truth. It's just honest, and it's just funny, and there's not There's not much to it. People try and go, but she's trying to say that if you, I'm like, oh, mate, I'm not. Did you laugh? Great. Keep scrolling. I mean, double tap and like it, but then keep scrolling. I think it's just trying to take the spotlight off the bullshit and maybe look at the fun stuff for a minute.
So people try to project a whole lot of stuff onto you, like your body image and you're this and you're that, and you're just like, I'm just trying to be funny.
And I hope that you get it, and I hope that you will now come and see my show, because that's what I do. I do stand-up. Or I hope that now you will buy my book when my book comes out, and I hope that now...
And your merch.
Yep. And I hope that now, that producer will go, oh, she has got a lot of followers, so she comes with great ideas, a great script and an audience. That's the idea. Being this social media person is great, but it's never the end goal for me.
I want to go back to the work of making the shots. So you've got this list of things. Do you have a box of props? Do you scout locations? Do you bank shots? Do you release them very soon after you've done them? Tell me a little bit about the backstage process.
Well, if I know I'm onto a winner, I have to get it out straight away. I get excited. There's, good times to post and all that sort of stuff. So I look into the algorithms or whatever that word is. I used to have a folder of ones that I'd done, and I have a folder that would be to post, but I don't really have that anymore because it's better when it's fresh. And I've noticed that if I'm not keen to post it, it's not worth posting. I have to really kind of trust myself. That's where Mark comes into it. I have to be like, no, I get this. I know what I'm doing. Send now or don't. It started out with the idea of a normal person doing weird celebrity type things. So I really try to stay within that when it comes to props and stuff. I really try to go, what would that look like if I just put my flesh coloured underwear on and did it? So I'll go and get what I've got. I mean, that's not to say I haven't gone out and bought, pink fairy wings and a few tiaras and some stupid things and that silver suit that everyone loves. But I try to stick with what I've got.
So not overly produce it.
No, exactly.
The backgrounds are bang on though. Like the one of you falling in the pool. Yeah. That looks like you were in Bali or something.
Yeah, I know. That was at my mother-in-law's place.
So are you always looking at locations and matching in your head?
Well, if we're at the beach, for example, I'll say to Arpi, while we're here, let's just get some shots done. And we'll do that sort of stuff. And if, little things like if I'm wearing a one piece, I'll pack a bikini so I can. But I don't usually. There has come a time where I've gone, I haven't posted in a week and I'm losing followers. I can see all that and I don't want that.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's the bots thing though, how they do the thing. Yeah. But also if you're not
How often do you post?
Well, I've been told I need to post at least 3 times a week. But do you know what? Insta stories help me out with that because I just post content up there and that helps people. Insta stories are a whole new world. I'm so exhausted, Mia. There is so much shit to do.
Babe, it's really tiring, isn't it? It's like feeding the beast, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm scared too. This is another thing. I'm like, I've got to strike while the iron's hot because in 2 years' time, people are going to go, Insta who?
Yeah.
And there'll be a new thing that everyone's onto.
What does striking while the iron's hot look like?
Well, doing the book deal, doing the American tour.
You're doing an American tour?
Yeah. My tickets
because
go
you're
on
huge
sale
in America.
Tomorrow.
I had a girlfriend out who's a magazine editor from the UK and I was talking about you and she said, is Celeste Barber Australian? She didn't even realise because you've got a massive following internationally as well as a lot of celebrities follow you.
Yeah, yeah. No, my main followers are in America. So I've got management and stuff over there now. And then after I did my tour here and it went so well, they got a promoter over there. So I just got my visa and all that, which is just so exciting. So I'm going over for like a showcase tour for 2 weeks where we just smash out a few cities here and there. And then depending on how that goes will be if I book a massive tour at the end of the year, which is just so exciting.
Are you still acting? I loved you in The Letdown, by the way.
Well, that was the last acting gig. And
you were so good in that. I loved it.
Barb, best character ever. Stay-at-home mum. It's the ham. She's the best.
She was fantastic. Is there going to be a second season?
We think so. We just did a bit of a. I don't know if I want to talk about this. Oh, bugger it. We just did a like a writer's workshop for it, and it's going to go Netflix in the States soon. It all depends on how well it goes. It actually will be on air in America when I'm on stage in America.
Oh, it couldn't be better.
So, mate, if I don't get a show out of this, I tell you
what would a show look like?
Well, it would be, I kind of want it in the Broad City vibe. So to be narrative driven, I'm an actor and a comedian. That's the kind of world I want to do. I'd also like to do a bit of a Chelsea Handler show. But I'd love to be in my own narrative driven show.
Like a dramedy.
Yeah.
That kind of genre.
That's yeah, exactly. And I pitched a billion ideas, so we'll see if any of them land. We'll see.
What about moving overseas with the fam?
That scares me. That whole idea. I mean, it was always a dream in my 20s. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm out of here.
Same.
But now, you know what I want to do? I want to Hemsworth it. I want to
Yes.
live at Tweed, where I grew up. I want to move up there. And then I'm like, come on, everyone. We're going to America for like a minute and do amazing work and then
Come back.
The Hemsworth is the dream.
It's funny you say that. I was looking at Instagram today and his wife, Elsa Pataki, was posting.
I just saw that with that starfish.
Yeah. And it's just like because a lot of people say, I really want to live in Australia, but they never do.
No.
But they really do.
Yeah. They fully live in Byron and
Yeah.
they make all his family like, you want to see us? Yeah, come over here. I love
Yeah.
it. I love it. No, that's the dream to do that.
In terms of the partnerships that you do have, we've done commercial stuff with you before that's been brilliant, and working with you was fantastic because it had to be like you bring a lot to the table. You're not just, tell me what you want me to do, and you know it has to be true to your brand as well, which is great. And you're doing something with Bonds at the moment, the Bonds Baby Search, which would not seem to me a logical pairing with you, but you say it's all about the no filter aspect.
Yeah, and that's why they called me, because that's what they're doing this year. They want to be all about what's real and what it's really like. Like I think even with the they want people to send in photos of their kids, but not being cute, just with food all over themselves, and so of course something unfiltered with the social media following. They called me,
Keeping it real.
What it's like, and when we did the shoot with my kids, oh my God, talk about shit fight! Like there was no putting it on. My kids were just like, no, I'm over it. And Lou ran off, he's 6, and Buddy was breaking things, and they just kept taking photos of us because that's what it's all about, just what's real. And I think people are sick of seeing things so staged.
Because it's exhausting. It just makes everyone feel inadequate.
Yeah.
Do you have your kids in many of your shots?
No.
Not too many. Is that a conscious thing, or it's just like not everyone why would you bring your kids to work? Not everyone else does.
Yeah, I mean, I must admit, if they are in photos, I'm aware of it. I'm very kind of aware of it. And even with friends, if I'm doing an Insta story or something and my friends, I'll be like, do you want me to tag you? And some of them will be like, no, because
it's too much.
It's too, and there are some crazy people following me. So
like actually crazy, or just like really into you?
Just show me your feet again. I love it when I get to see your feet.
Oh God,
that crazy. And I'm like, oh damn, no. So you know what I mean? They're like, no, I got photos of my kids on my page. Don't tag me. You know what I mean? So I am aware of it.
Do you have trolls?
I used to. I talk about this in my show. I'm sure I do. But I don't really know. I do flick through comments every now and then just to get a general vibe of how something flies. But if I do get someone saying you fat off, I don't really have to do much because my followers go rah, and it's on. I did have that guy a few weeks ago, a guy from Europe, a photographer. I did one of his photos. He had a model and completely naked model with her leg up a door, and I was like, oh, let's find a door. I couldn't get there quick enough. Put my flesh-coloured undies on, threw my leg up a door, did it, and he'd put like a little black love heart just over her vagina so you couldn't see it. And so I put obviously, a gremlin face over mine because that shit's funny.
It is funny.
And then sent it out. Great. And I didn't tag them because I couldn't find who they were. I always tag people. Couldn't find who they were. So when that happens, what I do is I will sit and stare at comments because
someone will say, that's me.
And they'll be like, oh, you need to tag. And people get a bit antsy about it. So they should. You need to tag so-and-so.
Yeah.
So I looked, saw it. He actually wrote, this is my work. How dare you not credit? And I just saw it and I went, bang, tag, did it. And then he reported it, blocked it, had it removed, and then went at me private messages going, you're a leech. If you're on this side of the world, I'd have my team of lawyers take you down. To which, of course, Arpy's like, if he was on this side of the world, gets all no. And but and then I Instagram storied it because
It's a bro off.
yeah, exactly, and don't poke the bear. And everyone you should see my feed. Everyone just kept reposting that photo that he had pulled down like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times. It went crazy. So kind of your community kind of back you in that. But I get people, men. I get a lot of men going, you should do porn because we don't have enough fat chicks in porn or that sort of stuff. I'm like, I'm good. Thanks. I'm busy, mate. I don't have time. Thanks, though. Yeah.
Is copyright ever a problem?
I'm nervous about the whole thing because, I mean, Kylie Jenner could shut the whole thing down in one fell swoop. I've spoken to lawyers and stuff about this though, because it's under the parody and satire law, I'm safe.
You sure are.
Yeah. So, and the celebrity photo doesn't make up. It makes up just under 50% of the whole work.
Correct.
Because when you look at it, you look at their work, my work, and the comment, and that's how I get around it. But they like it. The people I'm doing, like the celebrities, mates.
You were saying that celebrities are trying to do photos hoping that
that's what people speculate. I mean, I don't know if they are, but I reckon maybe.
Have you become mates with some of them?
Yeah, I had a 3-hour-long lunch with Rosie Huntington-Whiteley when I was over there.
Did you?
Yeah, she's excellent. And just when that photographer dude was gross, Busy Phillips was like, what do you need? What do you need us to do? And I was like, no, mate, I've got this, but thanks.
Yeah,
People are really nice, and Tom Ford is reposting my stuff, if you don't mind.
Shut up.
I won't shut up. I'm so excited.
There's some good people to have you back.
I know, and hilarious.
Because I wouldn't have thought that he would have had a very strong sense of humour.
No, but he's smart too.
Yeah.
He's kind of thinking ahead, I guess, in the fashion world. And maybe it's getting boring. I don't know. Maybe I'm just giving myself blowing my own horn here. But that was massive when that happened. And
the Kardashians, Chris likes you, doesn't she?
Yeah, they don't follow me, but they give their little bit of, you'll be fine. They've just, if there's a story done on me or something and the stuff I do, they'll just repost it on their Facebook or something, which is great. Good. Thanks. You know what I mean? That's nice, because they could very easily go the other way and go, no.
No, but they're canny and they work out that it just makes their brand more talkable.
100%. And I guess it gives them a new audience over here. If they, like when Tom Ford reposted my stuff, a lot of the comments under his were like, good on you for having a sense of humour. Yay, I'm going to start following you now, that sort of stuff. So I think he's doing all right though for followers.
I think he's probably going to be okay.
I think so. Do you know, when I said Tom Ford has emailed my agent, my husband went, right, great, Tom Ford. And he's like, do you know that he outbid Jay-Z and Beyonce on a house? Like, then just gave me all the Tom Ford stats I needed. He was very sweet.
When's the book out?
It will be out in October. Yes, it will be.
That's soon.
Yes, I know, and it will be out. Yes, it will.
Before Christmas.
Yeah, it's a Christmas book. And I have to have it out before I've got to give it myself. Well, they gave me a deadline of May 1, but I've pulled it to 25th of April because that's when I fly out for my show. So I'm like, I'm not writing a single word in America, so I need to get it done then.
How long will you be away for?
2 weeks max. Not taking the boys, so
taking
husband. Yep, Arpie's coming because he's in the show. I've written him in the show.
Excellent.
Yeah, people love it. It's hilarious.
Hot husband.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening to No Filter. The funniest part about that interview, apart from it being the world's most awkward start when I tried to make a joke and I just wasn't funny, was that when I walked into the podcast studio and Celeste was there, she went, oh my God, I was going to wear that today. I'm wearing a skirt from Spell and a white top from Sports Girl. And she said she actually had that skirt on this morning, the same skirt I'm wearing, and a white top. And I'm really bummed that she didn't actually end up wearing that, because who would have believed that we would have both accidentally worn the same thing? And I could have starred in my own accidental Celeste Barber photo. It would have been the best thing that's ever happened to me in my life. Anyway, a girl can dream. You can follow Celeste on Instagram @Celeste Barber, as if you're not already. And this podcast was produced by Liza Ratliff, who you can also follow on Instagram. I'm also on Instagram @MiaFriedman and @LadyStartup. See you on mamamia.com.au. Come home to the homepage and subscribe.